Hi everybody and welcome to Talkycast's channel where we speak League of Legends data. And I want to catch you guys up quickly on Season 12 changes. I just reread all the patches, I just took a quick look at the stats, and I just want to make sure if you haven't watched Professional LoL since World, I can tell you what changed. And there have been quite a few things. The first is Teleport. Teleport cannot target minions anymore before 14 minutes and is slightly worse. It's not a huge change, but Teleport should fade out in pro play, especially for mid laners, I think. So that's pretty decent change because Teleport in particular was pro play focused, much better in pro play and organized play. So it's not a huge rank play, but a big mid lane play. It also a pro play change, which should mean more kills in mid lane if people run more ignites. You have objective bounties, which are made to help create comebacks. It should not have a huge effect on pro play, where the teams ahead at 14 minutes should not let the opponent get bounties, get objectives if they're far ahead, because bounties only pop when one team is far ahead enough. It can be annoying if Herald and Drake spawn at the same time, so pro teams should pay specific attention to that. And outside of this, I don't think objective bounties are going to be huge in pro play because most pro games were already finished by 14 minutes. Most of the time, the team ahead would go on to win the game. And as we will see, hey, Drakes have changed and not for the better in pro play. So let's talk about Drakes. There are two Drakes, which are both damage-oriented Drakes. What they do is not really relevant. What you need to know is that they do increase the damage output of the team. You used to have 4 Drakes. 1 damage-oriented, 3 utility-oriented. Now you have 6 Drakes, 3 which are utility-oriented, and 3 which are damage-oriented. It insanely increases the damage output of a team with 4 Drakes on average, and the 2 new souls are also damage-oriented somehow. So I think this makes playing for Drakes even better than before. It was already pretty good. And playing for Drakes means being able to fight for the 3rd and 4th Drake, because if you get the first 2, you want to close out the game. If you did not get the first 2 for whatever reason, you need to be able to fight for the other 2 because the new souls look that good. And now a team with 4 Drakes will have, on average, a much higher DPS because the 2 new Drakes are damage oriented. So I think those dragon changes should make 1 items and 2 items power spikes even more important than before, push out 3 items champions even further away than before. And that's a bit unfortunate, but that's also better for the pacing of the game in pro play. And that's a much bigger change than the bounties. Like the composition of the dragons is a much bigger change to the game than bounties in pro play. Looking at the items, so there have been a lot of new items, lots of changes. I'm not going to read all of them. Overall, I don't think it's a huge deal. I don't think the items make a specific champion class much better or much worse. Tanks items still suck. Lethality items still give a lot of lethality for whatever is good or bad. And the only important item I think they added is Shadow Flame, which gives flat penetration and which should make burst mages even better than before. And with the teleport changes, it makes mages want to pick offensive summoners more often, and they have better access to magic penetration onto items. So I think burst mages are going to be even better than before when they were already great. We were already seeing a lot of Syndra, a lot of LeBlanc. You can kind of slot Oriana in this, but we can see Rumble as well as a sort of a high base damage kind of burst mage. And that's just, makes the whole thing even more pronounced. So having a new strong flat magic penetration item for mages, I think is the biggest change in terms of items. With the runes, First Strike, First Strike is a new rune that when you deal damage to an enemy for 3 seconds, all the damage you deal to them is transformed to gold. It sounds very skewed. There will be lanes when this is completely broken and lanes where this is absolutely terrible. I feel like runes with that kind of skewness are not great for the game, but I'm not sure it's going to be great in pro play. This feels like a rune that can be heavily abused in top lane, so I'm waiting to see exactly how this will turn out. Glacial Augment also got changed and is now better. It's still roughly the same thing. And Lethal Tempo is a new rune, by the way, and is now the actual DPS rune rather than Conqueror. Good news. Regarding champions, there were lots of changes, but I'm not entirely sure they really matter that much, so I'm going to close it. And to close it out, Fuck them tanks, because there are still no good flat resistance option for tanks. All tanks items still do not give enough resistances to warrant playing tanks and making them tanky. And they did buff Void Staff to give more percent penetration, so I think it's hard to really give a good reason to play a tank, except if the tank itself, the champion, is broken, but as a class, they don't have access to great items. Fuck them assassins, because Gordwinker got worse. They changed the scaling from total AD to base AD, so that's unfortunate. And mages got an item that just made to destroy assassins, so the item should not be good for pro play because assassins are already bad, but the item is there, and that just it being there just destroys assassins. So assassins should not see any play in pro play, which is unfortunate. Dregs got even better, as we said, because now you have 50-50 chance of the soul being damage oriented and 50% of the dregs being damage oriented. And that's the gist of it. I think I've covered the biggest changes. That's my opinion before coming into, the full season. Thanks a lot for tuning in, and see you tomorrow for another short League of Legends video.